All right, let's talk Python. If you're ready to take your code from pretty good to seriously powerful, you are in exactly the right spot. We're about to dive into 5 essential libraries that, honestly, are like a starter toolkit for almost any project you can dream up. So, are you ready to power up your code? I want you to think of these less like just tools and more like power-ups in a video game. Each one unlocks a totally new ability, turning what used to be a huge challenge into something you can actually handle. Let's start right at the beginning. Okay, so first things first. Every great project, I don't care if it's data science, AI, whatever, it all starts with the raw materials, right? And that's data. So our first stop is the absolute foundation, the 2 libraries you have got to know to get your data and numbers whipped into shape. First on our list is Pandas. And honestly, this description is perfect. Think of it like a supercharged, programmable spreadsheet. Imagine you've got some massive, messy sales report with a million rows. Instead of crashing Excel, you can use a few lines of Pandas to load it, clean up all the garbage data, and instantly figure out your top-selling product. That's the kind of heavy lifting Pandas makes look easy. Next up, we have NumPy. Now, if Pandas is the brilliant organizer, NumPy is the raw engine. It is the absolute bedrock of scientific computing in Python. It's built for one thing and one thing only: lightning-fast calculations on huge arrays of numbers. A really complex math problem that might take minutes in regular Python? Yeah, NumPy can probably knock it out in milliseconds. It's the silent workhorse that makes so much of the other cool stuff possible. So, you might be thinking, okay, Pandas, NumPy, what's the real difference? Well, this slide breaks it down perfectly. You're going to reach for Pandas when you've got structured, table-like data, stuff with rows and columns that need labels. But for the pure, hardcore, high-speed number crunching, that's NumPy's job. The most important thing to get, though, is that they're a team. In fact, Pandas is literally built on top of NumPy, so you get all that speed, but with a much friendlier interface. Okay, once your data is all clean and organized, that's when the real fun begins. Now it's time to actually find the story that's hiding in all those numbers. So let's move on to the next couple of libraries that help us first see the patterns and then predict what's going to happen next. And this is Matplotlib. You know, data is really just a bunch of numbers in a spreadsheet until you can actually see it. Matplotlib is basically the artist in our toolkit. With just a few lines of code, you can transform thousands of data points into a single clear chart that immediately shows you a trend or maybe an outlier that you would have totally missed otherwise. It is the fastest way to go from data to an actual insight. And once you can see the patterns, you're going to want to start making predictions. That is exactly where scikit-learn comes in. Now, what's so cool about this is how it makes machine learning accessible to pretty much everyone. You can take your company's sales data, feed it into one of its pre-built models, and get a shockingly accurate sales forecast for the next quarter. And you can do it all without needing a PhD in statistics. And look at this. Here's how it all fits together. This is your core workflow for finding insights in data. You start by wrangling and organizing the raw stuff with Pandas. Then, you use Matplotlib to explore it visually and spot the patterns. And finally, you use those patterns to build a predictive model with scikit-learn. See? From messy data to a real prediction, all in 3 steps. But what good are all these amazing insights if you can't share them with anyone, right? If they just sit on your laptop? So the final step in our journey is to take everything you've built, your analysis, your models, and turn it into something real, something you can share with the world. And for that, meet Django. If you've ever had an idea for a website or a web app, this is your go-to. I love this description for perfectionists with deadlines. It just hits the nail on the head. There's a reason huge sites like Instagram and Pinterest were built with Django. It lets you get from a basic idea to a powerful, secure, and scalable website without having to reinvent the wheel every single time. This right here is the whole philosophy behind Django. It's all about being practical. It has this concept of batteries included, which basically means it handles all the boring, tedious parts of web development for you. Things like user accounts, admin pages, security stuff. It's all there right out of the box. This frees you up to focus your time and energy on what makes your project special. So there you have it. From manipulating data all the way to building a full-fledged web application, we've just unlocked a complete, incredibly powerful toolkit that can handle a massive range of projects. Let's do a super quick recap. We've got Pandas for structuring all your data, NumPy for the super fast calculations, Matplotlib for making that data visual and understandable, scikit-learn to make predictions using machine learning, and finally, Django, to build something amazing and share it with the world on the web. And please remember this pro tip. I know it might seem like a lot to learn, but focusing on these 5 specific libraries is one of the smartest things you can do. When you master these, you're not just learning 5 tools, you are truly unlocking the full, massive potential of the entire Python ecosystem. Which, of course, brings us to the final and really the most important question of all. You have the tools now. You have the map to this powerful toolkit. The only question left is, what amazing thing are you going to build first?